Hi, I'm Epiconkin, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to build custom trees. And for this, it's really important to go outside and look at real trees to see what they actually look like so you can build them correctly in game. So when you're designing a custom tree, you might be tempted to just use the log type that you think belongs with that tree. So if you're trying to make a birch tree, you might be tempted to just use birch logs. But what you might not realize is that, for one thing, the texture of this only works on this specific scale. If you go bigger, then the black spots are too small, and if you go smaller, it just looks weird. In fact, you can't go smaller than this, because this is the only size that you have. So if you want to make a smaller tree, the stump will be too big. So instead, you might want to use another block, such as diorite. It has a bit of a grayer color than the birch logs, which is actually more realistic to what these trees look like in real life. Same goes for oak trees, spruce trees. The logs are just too brown for those. And also, if you're using a stone type in this case, instead of a wood type, you get walls. Now, at a scale where your stem is made out of full blocks, walls actually make a really good size for branches. And then if you want to make even smaller branches, you could use fences. The pale oak fence works quite well with the diorite blocks. So then, once you've done that, you're going to start thinking about leaves. And you might think we can just use birch leaves. And actually, you can. Birch leaves are totally fine. But you could also get a bit experimental with it and use cherry leaves or mangrove leaves or any other type of leaves. For this, the best advice I can give you is just try it, and if you don't like it, try something else. And it doesn't even have to be leaves. You could also use a combination of wool and concrete to create a whole different color of leaves. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how I build 3 different types of trees, and you can use those as reference. So we're starting off with a pine tree, and this tree is a bit different from the other trees that we're going to be making, because for a pine tree you usually don't actually want to make branches. And the reason for that is because on the scale that we're building here, the branches of a pine tree are actually too small to have a really suitable in-game block. Instead, when placing the leaves, try to think of them as sort of really big leaves kind of hanging from the central stem. This way you still really get that pine tree effect. And you also notice that I'm using strip logs here instead of normal logs because they represent the color of an actual pine tree a bit better. Next up, we're making an oak tree. And when I built this, I actually decided to use tuff instead of oak logs, because in reality, oak trees are a lot grayer than they are in Minecraft. And I also really like that with tuff you get the ability to use the walls. So now when placing the leaves, you kind of want to start at the bottom of a branch and sort of work your way around it in a bit of a spherical shape. And try not to overdo it. In reality, most trees don't fully block out all the light, so the leaf density should not be as high as it is on standard Minecraft trees. So try to leave some air. And finally, we're building a birch tree. As discussed at the start of the episode, I'm actually going to be using diorite here. And I also decided to texture the stem with a bit of calcite. For these branches, you'll notice they're going up at quite a steep angle that is accurate to what birch trees look like in reality. And when making this type of birch tree, there really shouldn't be too many leaves at the bottom of the branches, so really focus on putting them on top of them instead. Now in this time lapse, you also notice that I'm very often taking a step back just to see what my tree looks like from a distance. And that's a really good thing to do because you can't tell from that close-up what it looks like. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I really try to keep these short, so I hope that's appreciated. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.